Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we've got another guide to grind compilation for the Russian tech tree heavy tank, the IS-2-II. So on part 1 we're going to be featuring the KV-3 and the IS-2-II, and the first replay we've got the KV-3, which we are on Westfield, and we're platooned up with Kingpin and Mass here. So the equipment I run on the KV-3 is gun rammer, vents and advanced gun lane drive. And on the perks you'll see I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Situational Awareness, Track Mechanic, Run and Gun. And I'll probably go with off-road driving for the final perk just to improve the mobility slightly, because the KV-3 is a bit sluggish. Which is one of the downsides of the tank. So the KV-3 is actually the start of the IS-2-II line. It kind of branches off. So yeah, if you've done the IS-4 line, you will have come down this line to do that grind. So the chances are you may already have enough XP to just go ahead and unlock the IS-2-II. But if not, what you're gonna have to do is obviously buy back your KV-3 if you if you sold it. If you've already got in the garage, and great, just you can crack on and obviously start grinding that out. But essentially your grind for the ST2 starts at TSM with the KV-3. So the KV-3, I thought it was okay, to be fair. I didn't think it was too bad a tank. Yeah, so sluggishness is obviously one of its downsides, and on Westfield here you can see we're travelling at 16 kilometers an hour, which isn't great. So it can be a bit of a pain. Sort of smaller maps like Ghost Town are probably going to be more suited to this tank. You can get sort of into the brawls and start slugging it out with the enemy. In terms of, top tier, I think you could brawl with it. Obviously the hull doesn't have that great armor. It's mainly about the turret. This tank can side scrape, so it does have that advantage in the sense of you side scrape off buildings on your city maps and things like that. You're going to bounce some rounds. Now when you get sort of top gun of this tank, it can be a bit derpy, and your gun depression, you can see, we've got 7 degrees of gun depression, so it's average. It's okay, but it's not great. It's not terrible essentially. As we just finished that Caro P88 there for our first kill. The alpha's pretty nice, as you see. We just rolled for 432 on the King Dragon there. We did take a shot in return, but like I say, that nice alpha you have when you sort of play in the Tier 8 games, you actually feel like you are, you can put a round in and you can kind of have a bit of a detrimental effect on the enemy's hit points. So it is nice, that nice alpha. But like I say, the gun is a bit derpy, so you do bear that in mind. That's one of the reasons why I run vents alongside the gun rammer and advanced gun lane drive, to improve that accuracy and also the reload as well. So you're able to sort of get that gun slinging and being able to do that big alpha damage that this gun can do. So yeah, you'll find that the alpha damage again, sort of top tier. You're gonna have some fun with that. And I've had some half decent games in this tank, to be fair, and it's been all right. It hasn't been as bad as what I thought it was gonna be. So yeah, it's like I say, it's not a bad one, to be fair. It's just that sluggishness can be a little bit draining at times, and obviously the gun depression as well. You can see like we're trying to potentially get shots into Type 59. He does over peak there, and now he's gonna start YOLOing us, which isn't great. He manages to get around and put a shot on us. He did damage our gun, but there we go. He got put down to a one shot by I think Kingpin probably got a shot in there. And we just swung the gun round and got a shot in for our second kill there. So there's this Italian medium that's potentially, well, we thought it was potentially going to go, not Italian medium, sorry, the King Dragon was potentially going to go YOLOing in on Kingpin. We now have him put in a pretty decent crossfire. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get the aim off there. The King Dragon did just track us, so that's, you know, not a bad thing, to be fair. And Kingpin does manage to get the kill on that King Dragon. We put him in a nice crossfire there. There wasn't really much that King Dragon could do. So there's only 2 tanks left here. We've had a half decent game. It's not been sort of a showstopper, but like I say, when you sort of maps up Westfield, when you've got that sort of uphill struggle, literally, at the start of the game, sort of coming up the hill, it's, you know, not ideal, and you know, you probably find that's going to be the case where your damage is going to slip away. And you see we're wiggling here as we're trying to take on this Black Prince, because we're trying to just make him deflect off our side there. We do get a shot into him, he does get a shot into us, but Mass comes in and saves the day, taking him out for us, and also picking up the win in the process. So looking at the board, we just come in second place there. You can see it's a nice overall platoon podium there. We picked up 3.2k damage with 2 kills, 436 assists, picking up the first class. I like to say a great overall platoon play with myself, Mass and Kingpin, so credit to those guys as well for their efforts. So anyway, we're on to the second replay, where we're actually going to look at the IS-2-II now. And you see the equipment we run here is we've gone for optics, vert stabs and vents. Obviously can't run rammer, so that's why we've had to go for vents instead. And we've got Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Situational Awareness, Trap Mechanic, Run and Gun and Armour Angling on the IS-2-II perks here. So I've potentially gone for Armour Angling instead of Off-Road Driving, because frankly I don't think the mobility is that bad in the IS-2-II. It's certainly a lot better than the KV-3. You know, you can wiggle a lot more, you know, the traverses are a lot better, and personally I just found, you know, sort of the speed at which this tank could get at was fairly mobile. It wasn't too bad. So so yeah, we've gone for Armour Angling instead, just so we can sort of you know, use our armour to sort of good effect. Again, sort of the tank, I think if I remember rightly, it can side scrape. It's not as good as the KV-3. You do have to be careful. You know, there are potentially areas you can get penned, but if you side scrape it right, you know, you can bounce some shots. It's got good turret armour, so essentially I would say probably try and get more in a hold down position. At the moment where we're at, we are just sort of, we're not obviously playing hold down, we're sort of out stranded in the open. Not stranded, but you know, we're sort of over peaking quite a bit here, but we're far enough away from the enemy where we don't have to worry too much. So obviously on Red here it's quite hilly, so we can potentially get hold down. Problem is we've got 7 degrees of gun depression, which isn't, yeah, again, same as KV-3, it's average. But you can see there we do make light work of that Type 59, picking up our first kill of the game. It's been a bit of a slow, sluggish start here, but you know, we're just gonna play it safe for now. You can see we've got Kingpin and Mass in our game. I think Kingpin is actually in the artillery. I'm not entirely sure what Mass is running. I think he might be running the French tank destroyer, the AMX AC-48, I think, possibly from memory. I could be wrong though. So yeah, we've got Mass and we've got Kingpin for support here. So like I say, we can sort of popped up here to try and see if there's any vision. But now I'm making my way back because I notice that the 9-0 line flank is falling pretty hard. There's only a tank destroyer and a medium there. I have got tanks here covering, But I sort of thought, you know what, I'm sort of going to make my way back and try and help these guys. Don't want that flank to fall and then those tanks get behind. And obviously there wasn't really many sort of opportunities to shoot anything. You can see this is quite a heavily tank destroyer matchmaker here. I think this was probably when the Roswell contract was still on, or I don't know, some TD contract, hence why all the TDs are out in full force today. So we have to be mindful of that. Obviously there's probably going to be quite a few tank destroyers that are going to be camping at the back, but for now, like I say, we've come to a position where we know where the damage is. We get a nice blind fire there on that T-28, picking up our second kill of the game. We're up to 1800 damage here. Again, it's been sort of, you know, a bit simmering away this game, but we are 2 or 3 tanks up, I believe. So we're doing all right in terms of, you know, map control and sort of keeping the game at sort of a good balance in our favour. Get a shot into the Death Star though. He's looking at us, so we need to sort of just back behind this rock just to try and shield ourselves, lose our spot, and then we can potentially poke up and get some shots off. We didn't lose our spot, but we're confident enough that we could poke up, knowing that the Death Star is probably focusing elsewhere. We're waiting to see if this tank destroyer is going to peak, but doesn't look like that's the case. But we can see there's a medium tank over here, so we're keeping an eye on that guy, just seeing if he's going to pop up, and you know, we can potentially get a shot on. Gone for the double barrel here, just in case. Now, the double barrel feature is obviously really good, and I would say your best time to use this is when you know there's a tank on one hit. Now you can see we only penned 1 shot of that, you know, of the double shot there, and that can happen, you know, if you're not properly aimed in and you haven't got both guns focused, you know, on the tank, then the chances are only 1 shot is going to pen out the 2. So that is one thing to obviously just bear in mind. Just, you know, make sure you take your time, don't rush your shot like I did, and yeah, you can penetrate that tank. But like I say, you kind of just there's 2 situations where you use the double barrel feature, sorry. That's when tank is a 1 shot. So in this instance, if a tank was sort of 500 hit points or below, that is where I'll be looking to load the double barrel and taking that tank out. But you know, you want to maximize your DPM and just stay with a single shot. Also, I would use a double barrel if I was in a situation where there was 1 tank remaining, or I only had shots on 1 tank, and if I knew that I couldn't get any shots on any other tanks, then I'd potentially look at making the use of that double barrel feature and just getting those shots off, because yeah, I can afford the penalty on the reload because I don't have anything to shoot at. You essentially, you know, just you're kind of making use. So it's just, you have to think about it. Basically, you have to think about it and decide when is the right time. And like I say, those periods where tank is a 2 shot, yeah, you can go ahead and do that. So we can see this Italian tank destroyer is hull down, but luckily Kingpin manages to take him out. So we don't have to worry about that guy. So I was sort of rocking backwards and forwards behind that dead wreck just to try and avoid any shots coming in. Now we can see tank destroyer to our left here. So we're going to sort of push in. You can see Mass is sort of in the middle of the map there. He's sort of making, he's starting to make an advance. So we need to try and get in a position where we can potentially help him out. Going to try and come up and see if I can get a shot into this Tier 9 waffle. This is the point where I should probably load the double barrel, because I don't think 1 shot is going to take him out. We've got artillery focused us, but yeah, now we're going to sort of come around here and try and see if we can take him out. But Mass manages to get there before I do and finish the tank off. So artillery tries to take another shot at us and misses. That's all there is left now, and you can see this is where we engage our brain and think, right, okay, we can load the double barrel now, because there's myself and Mass But problem is, I'm not going to get there first. Kingpin manages to finish him off. So let's say that situation where there's one tank left, load both the barrels and get the shots off. So there we go, we come third place, got just over 3.4k damage with 2 kills. Again, another great platoon play there with Massa and Kingpin. Credits them, they put in a good shift there to make sure we picked up the win. We picked up 1,100 assists and the first class medal, and yeah, a nice game for a bottom tier matchup. So yeah, that's the IS-2-II. Like I say, not a bad tank. I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. Yeah, when you are bottom tier, it can be obviously a bit of a struggle, but nature of the beast with anything when you're bottom tier. So anyway, that is it, guys. I will have part 2 on the ST2 grind coming out very soon, so keep an eye out for that. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.